Whoa, what's going on, people? This your boy SportsTalkQue, and today I want to do something a little special for y'all. So, with us being on the brink of the college football season starting, I want to give y'all a list of the top 10 quarterbacks on a college level going into the 2022 season. Now, before that, I want to give y'all two disclaimers. For one, this top 10 list does not necessarily reflect these prospects' draft stock. So, based on why you see them on this list, that does not reflect where I feel they will potentially go in the NFL draft or what they might, fare at the next level. The second thing is that, you know, I'm making this list, solely based on what these players are capable of and what they've accomplished on the college level thus far. So you might see somebody you might feel like, hey, he might not beat all that at the next level, but man, look, this college. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, before I get into the top 10, I got to make one more announcement. So while I was making this list up, I definitely had this guy on my list, but a few weeks ago it came out that he had a non-football kind of medical condition that's going to keep him out indefinitely, maybe for the whole season, but potentially not. And that's Sam Hartman from Wake Forest, the quarterback. And I want to give a shout out to him because had it not been for this injury, he would soundly be in my top 10 list. I don't want to say exactly well, but he will be on this list for sure. So I definitely want to show dude some love because he's definitely more than a solid quarterback. He's an elite quarterback, and he's one of the best at this level, and he's a bona fide proven winner, and I want to just give dude his flowers right now, and I'm hoping that he makes a speedy recovery and that us as college football fans, we're able to see him at some point this year, on the gridiron, making some plays and showing us why he's one of the best at this level. So shout out to you, Sam Hartman. I'm hoping that we see you at some point this year, and yeah, dude, get healthy so you can get right and we can see what's up with you. Okay. So let's get it popping. At number 10, we have Michigan quarterback J McCarthy. Now, he's a redshirt sophomore going into his sophomore season. Michigan Wolverines quarterback. He had 516 yards passing last season with a 57% completion percentage, 5 throwing touchdowns, and a 62 QBR. So I know when I say these numbers, they don't really jump out at y'all, but just me watching him on film, he really is that dude. He's a legit dual threat quarterback. He could beat you with his arm. He could also beat you with his leg. And just me watching him last year throughout, different points of the season for Michigan, I feel like he's an elite quarterback just waiting on his opportunity. And what I seen him most was last year in the national championship game against Georgia. Now, their starting quarterback wasn't really all that, exciting. He didn't really catch my eye in that game, but when he came in late in the third quarter, he kind of did what he did. So just me seeing him in action and kind of being more of a mobile quarterback and making plays with his feet and just being more kind of crafty and whatnot, I feel like he's definitely a person that could win that starting job full time at Michigan. And I also feel like they have a top 10 team, so I feel like their potential is a whole lot higher with J McCarthy at the helm than the other quarterbacks. So he's my 10th best quarterback in college football going into this season. At number 9, we have Coastal Carolina quarterback Grayson Mccall. Let me read y'all stats off for him. So in the 2021 season, he had 2,843 yards, a 73% completion percentage. He had 27 touchdowns, and he had an 81.5 quarterback rating, which was good for 8th best in the whole country. So some of the things I noticed about him, just from watching this film, he has excellent field vision. Whether it's in the short, the long route, or the intermediate, he could find this guy anywhere on the field, open guy, and he spots him and he hits him. So, he takes what you give him. Aside from that, I've also noticed that in the intermediate passing route, like in the middle of the field, like just between that 8 and 16 yard, kind of passing zone, that's what he's best at. So that's why he does most of his damage. So if you don't cover the middle of the field, he gonna fuck over you, and that's what it is. So, and he also has a keen sense of feeling the pressure in the pocket and maneuvering and just knowing how to like get around the pocket and just make plays in the pocket and just kind of building those extra seconds for himself. So, if your pass rush can't get to him immediately, good luck to you. And aside from that, if you got some good DBs and you could cover them, he could make you miss with his feet. Like he could damage you on the ground with his feet. So you also got to be aware of that. So he's a very dangerous quarterback, as most other guys on this list are. But you look at him in his stature, you might feel like he's a pocket passer, but he's a legit dual threat quarterback. Let's move on to the next spot. At number 8, we have Spencer Rattler, the starting quarterback of the South Carolina Gamecocks. Of course, he transferred last season from the University of Oklahoma. So last year, he passed for 1,483 yards. He had 11 touchdowns, and he had a 73% completion percentage with a 71.6 quarterback rating. Amongst the country, he wasn't necessarily ranked, but, he still did what he did. So let's get into it. So I'm going to tell you something about Spencer Rattler. When he's comfortable, he has excellent ball placement. He could put the ball right in the breadbasket or in the chest of the wide receiver, and you just can't duplicate that. So that's one of the things I like about him. Number 2, he likes to lead his receivers to the football. So he likes to throw the ball in front of those guys and, make it to where they can run and catch the ball and gain yards after the catch. And that's something you can't discredit as a quarterback on a college level, because you put the ball in a lot of these guys' hands, and once they get in their hands, they get in open space and they make a lot of things happen. So that's something that you really can't discredit. So aside from that, he's not the most athletic person in the world, but he's more than capable of making plays with his feet and getting first downs and moving the chains. So if you're not careful, he'll beat you with his feet. And we've seen that time and time again. So if you're a defense, you definitely got to look out for that factor of his game. He might not look that athletic, but he definitely is on the low. So one thing I will say is that his 2021 season, it wasn't that great after 2020, which, a lot of people had him as a Heisman favorite. But going into this year, he kind of fell off. So people are expecting him or looking forward to him kind of coming back and shaking back this season for South Carolina. So we're going to see what's in shape. So let's go. Let's move on to number 7. At that space, we have Louisville quarterback Malik Cunningham. Let me read y'all stats off to him. So in the 2021 season, he had 2,941 yards. He had 19 touchdown passes. He had 62% completion percentage. And he also had an 81.9 quarterback rating, which was good for 9th in the entire country, which is pretty impressive. Now, some of the things about Malik Cunningham that flash off to me are his ability. He has a really big arm. So for those of y'all who think he's just a running quarterback, think again. He'll really beat you with his arm, and he'll beat you deep in the intermediate route, and he's also kind of accurate. So don't just think he just a running quarterback. Now, with that being said, that is his strength. Like he is definitely a running quarterback. As I've alluded to, he had over 1,000 yards rushing last season. He had 20 touchdowns on the ground, and he also averaged 6 yards per carry on the season. As I alluded to earlier, he has a really big arm, and he's also accurate on the short and intermediate throws. So if you allow him to, he'll beat you through the air. Like if you just kind of rush the passer and just think that he gonna fold up, he ain't gonna do that on you. He gonna beat you with his arm if you let him. And also, I feel like Malik Cunningham is just a dominant playmaker. So when I watched this film, he kind of reminded me of a taller Lamar Jackson, like kind of the same build, same stature, same type of pedigree, but he's a little bit taller. But when the ball in his hand and shit go left, he just really make it do what it do, and he gonna make a play. He gonna make nothing. He gonna make something out of nothing. You heard me? So that's just what he do. So Malik Cunningham definitely is on this list as one of the best quarterbacks on the college level. Let's move on to number 6. At that spot, we have North Carolina State quarterback Devin Leary. On a season in 2021, he had 3,360 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, and he completed 65.7% of his passes, which was good for a 71.9 quarterback rating, which was good for 30th in the country. So let's get into what he does best. So when he has time, he has superior or elite ball placement. Like if you give him a clean pocket, he gonna put the ball exactly where it needs to be for the receiver, and it don't get no better than that. So, outside of that, from watching this film, I feel like his best passes were in his intermediate, part of the field, in the middle of the field between 8 and 16 yards. Like I said, for other quarterbacks, I also feel like he's a very sound decision maker. He sits in the pocket. He doesn't just scramble and just, kind of think about what's going to happen. He finds his open man no matter what. And aside from that, he led North Carolina State to their best record in quite a few years with a 9-3 record. So, based on what he did last season, I feel like he's going to build on that, and the Wolfpack are going to be even better next year. So, shout out to Devin Leary coming in at number 6, man. Okay, now we're in the top 5. So, at the 5 spot, we got Miami quarterback Tyler Van Dyke. So, let me read y'all stats off to him right quick. So, for the 2021 season, he had 2,931 passing yards, which was good for 21 touchdowns. And he also had a 62.8 completion percentage, which was good for 11th in the whole country. So there were only 10 other quarterbacks that completed more percentage of their passes than Van Dyke. So let's get into why I feel like he's one of the top 10. He also had a quarterback rating of 80.1, which was also 11th. And I feel like he could really fit the ball in extremely tight spaces. So that's what separates guys like him from the top 10 to the top 5. Like when you have corners just covering all over you, and he can just get the ball where it needs to be, like in that certain pocket, that's kind of what separates guys like that from other people on this list. Aside from that, I feel like he can make throws at any particular level of the field, whether it be the short field, whether it be a deep throw, intermediate part of the field. He can make a throw at any level, which I feel like can also translate to the next level. Aside from that, he also makes it look easy. And he also, last season, he also had 6 straight 300-yard passing games to end the season, which in itself is really impressive. So there's not many quarterbacks on the college or NFL level that could throw for 300 straight yards for 6 straight games. So shout out to Tyler Van Dyke for making that happen, dog. And I feel like he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the entire country going into this season. So we're going to see what Miami do going into 2022. Shout out to you, homie. Okay, at number 4, we have Tennessee quarterback Hendon Hooker. Let me read your stats off to him. In the 2021 season, He passed for 2,945 yards. He had 31 touchdowns with a 68% completion percentage, which is pretty good. Like that's really impressive. But aside from that, he also had 629 yards rushing and 5 additional touchdowns. So I'm going to get to that a little bit later. But overall, he is a really accurate passer. He puts the ball where it needs to be, and he puts the ball right where his receivers can make a play on the ball and make yards after the catch. And he is a really dynamic quarterback. So aside from that, he's also aside from that, he's not a true pocket quarterback, but he has a rocket arm. Like, so he has a really quick release, and with the flick of a wrist, he could throw the ball 60, 70 yards in the air and just, hey, man, look here, receiver, go up and get that. Like, just beat your man on the route, and it's going to be there for you. And aside from that, like I said, he's extremely accurate on his deep passes. So when he does throw the ball deep, he ain't just throwing up and winging the prayer. Like, he's throwing it to where the receiver legitimately has a chance to make a play on the ball, which I really appreciate and respect as a quarterback of his stature. And as I alluded to earlier, he's extremely athletic and elusive. So if you feel like you get him in an open field and you can make an easy tackle, that ain't gonna happen. Like, he definitely gonna make you miss. And going into this season, a lot of people have him as a potential dark horse to win a Heisman Trophy. So y'all definitely keep an eye out on Hendon Hooker going into this season, and we gonna see what's going on with dudes. You heard me? All right. So at number 3, we have USC quarterback Caleb Williams, who of course transferred in from the University of Oklahoma, who followed his coach Lincoln Riley out of Nebraska. So let's read his stats off. Last year, he had 1,912 yards. He had 21 touchdowns, and he also had a 64.5 completion percentage, which was good. He also had an 85.5 quarterback rating, which was good for 4th in the entire country. So that is really, really, really impressive. So let's get into why I feel like he's the 3rd best quarterback going into this season in the entire country. So first of all, he kind of took the college football world, by storm in the Texas-Oklahoma game last year. So, when Oklahoma was down in the second quarter, they felt like they needed to make a change at quarterback, and he came in and made an immediate impact. So, he came in like his second play, scored the crazy ass touchdown run, like for like 50 or 60 yards, something like that. And aside from that, he finds a way to consistently get the ball to open receivers and to his playmakers. And, that's something that I just can't discredit. That's just something that great quarterbacks do. So, like, even when they cover, he get the ball to him. He also has an extremely strong arm. So when you look at him, you may feel like, hey, whatever, but his arm is really strong. And he can place the ball anywhere on the field with a bunch of confidence. Like, he's not scared to make a throw anywhere on the field. And what a lot of people don't realize is that he's a true dual threat quarterback. You might look at his frame or his stature and might feel like, he's not quick enough or fast enough to be a dual threat quarterback, but on the low, he really is that dude, and if you sleep on him, he'll fuck over you. So yeah, like, that's all the reasons I feel like Caleb Williams, he's set up to succeed at USC, and I feel like, if he's at the downtown quarterback club in December in New York trying to get that Heisman Trophy, I wouldn't be surprised. So yeah, keep an eye out for him. I feel like he's the 3rd best quarterback in the country going into this season. Okay, coming in at number 2, I have Ohio State quarterback C.J. Stroud. So he had a phenomenal season last year, so let me read your stats off to him. In the 2021 season, he had 4,435 yards. He passed for 44 touchdowns and had a 71.9% completion percentage. And he also had a 91.6% quarterback thing. So, which was good. He was the best in the country with the quarterback rating. So, yeah. So, let's read off why he was one of the best quarterbacks in the country. So, first of all, he is extremely accurate. So, when he fires the ball off, very rarely does it not get into the receiver's hands. And when the receiver getting the ball in their hands, they going to make something happen. So, the next thing I have in my notes is he has magnificent ball placement. So, as I alluded to earlier, he's very accurate. Not only is he accurate, but he'll put the ball exactly where it needs to be to where only the receiver could get it right in his chest or in his hands. And, I'm going to get to my next point after that. Once the receiver has the ball in his hands, he has a lot of space while he has opportunity to make, to get yards after the catch. So that's really vital to a wide receiver, especially at the college level. So that's one of the things that really set him apart from a lot of other quarterbacks at the college level. So he could also get the ball to receivers in a really tight space. He's excellent at going through his full route progression. So he ain't just going to see just one person and just throw the ball to him. He going to read the whole field and kind of see what's going on to see, where can I get the most bang for my buck. And that's one of the reasons I really feel like he's really extremely high on my list. And as I alluded to earlier, he really places the ball to where guys could get a bunch of yards after the catch. And he's just a phenomenal quarterback. And, going into this season, according to most sports books, he is the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman Trophy award. So, I have him 2 on my list, but a lot of people might feel like he's the best quarterback in college football, for which, if somebody feel like that, I can't really disagree with. You heard me? So that's what it is. So, yeah. Coming in at number 1, we have the reigning Heisman Trophy winning quarterback from the University of Alabama, Bryce Young. On the 2021 season, he had 4,872 passing yards, 42 touchdowns, had a 66.9 completion percentage rating, and also had a 87.6 QBR, which was good for number 2 in the entire country. So, as I alluded to earlier, he's the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, and he also is plus 380 to repeat as the Heisman Trophy winner and as a 2-time winner. Of course, everybody knows that only Archie Griffin has won the award twice, but as of right now, he can win the award twice again. So let's see what goes on with that. So why do I feel like he's one of the best quarterbacks on the college level? Well, for one, he's extremely accurate. When he throws the ball, he puts the ball exactly where the receiver can get it and nobody else. So that's one of the things I love about Bryce Young. He has great ball placement at all 3 levels of the field, whether it be in the short term, the intermediate field, or on a deep ball, which I personally feel like he excels at. When he throws the deep ball, there's nobody else in college football that throws a deep ball better than Bryce Young. And if you feel any different, challenge me on that. You heard me? So another reason I feel like he is the best quarterback in college football is that he has great arm strength. So when you look at him and you look at his stature, you might not feel like, he has the capability to launch the ball, 50, 60 yards down the field, but he does that on a regular basis. And it's kind of surprising seeing that, traditionally Nick Saban, he is more of a short passing or run the ball type guy, but over the past 3 or 4 years, he's been letting his quarterback launch that bitch. So, and that's exactly what Bryce Young been doing. So aside from that, I feel like Bryce Young, he's very good at going through his progressions. I feel like he doesn't just go to his first read, and if it's open, he goes there, and if not, he runs. Like, he sits in the pocket, and he reads the whole field and sees who's the best guy available and who is open, and whoever it is, that's who he's going to launch that bitch to. So that's why I feel like he is the best quarterback in college football. And aside from that, a lot of people feel like, because when you look at his stats, he has 0 rushing yards on the season, which is pretty surprising. But he is a legit dual threat quarterback. And, if you let him, he will beat you with his feet. Again, like a lot of other quarterbacks on his list. If you let him, he going to move the chains or he going to get in the end zone. So don't let his stature fool you. So, like, he will fuck over you, and he is very athletic. So he might not look like it, but he is extremely athletic. So yeah, this is the warning to all you defenses. So that's my top 10 quarterback list. If y'all feel like it's anybody I left off the list, y'all let me know in the comment section, or y'all hit me wherever and let me know, because I'm always open to suggestions and I'm always open to engagement and feedback. So yeah, y'all hit me up, man. Until next time, one love.